All right. And this is a warning, right? And y'all gonna start to see more of this, unfortunately, because God sent his people to warn. The grace period is running out for a lot of people. What we saw with Angie Stone, how you get on a bus with nine people, and I don't have all the statistics and all that. 9 people, and you the only one that perished. Oh baby, and you bow down to Zeta. Oh, see, the grace period is running out for people.
The world of music came to a standstill as fans said goodbye to the legendary Angie Stone. Amid the sorrow, one tribute stood out and left everyone speechless. Angie Stone wasn't just a singer. She was a force in the R&B scene, helping to shape the neo-soul movement with her powerful voice and timeless music. From her early days with the group, the sequence to her successful solo career, Angie gave us unforgettable hits like No More Rain and Wish I Didn't Miss You. Her songs told stories of love, heartbreak, and strength, and her influence reached far beyond the charts. Angie Stone wasn't just about the music. She was about creating a lasting legacy. She became the voice for those who felt unheard, and her work paved the way for artists like Erykah Badu and Jill Scott. Angie's style, which blended classic soul with hip-hop, helped redefine R&B and brought a fresh sound to the genre.
How has the music industry changed from when you first started to where it is right now?
Each generation is bringing something new. When we started, there was no social media. It was just hard work, live shows, getting out there and putting the pedal to the metal.
Angie's impact wasn't just limited to her music. She represented resilience, and her songs resonated with so many people on a personal level. She wasn't just a figure on the stage. She was a role model who stood for much more than just fame. This week, 2 funeral services were held to honor Angie Stone's life and legacy. One was private, and the other was public. Both services were filled with family, close friends, celebrities, and music legends, all gathered to celebrate Angie's incredible journey. But there was one tribute that truly captured everyone's attention: a heartfelt speech from Angie's ex-husband, Lil Rodney C. Angie Stone was a queen of soul, a pioneer in R&B, and her voice defined generations. The 2 services in her honor reflected both her grand presence and the deep love people had for her. The public service held in Atlanta was filled with emotion and had a fittingly grand atmosphere. The venue was as large and remarkable as her legacy. It was a place where her music had shaped so many lives, and the attendees came from all over to honor her. Some of the biggest names in the entertainment industry attended, including Tyler Perry, who has deep connections to the gospel and R&B communities. Perry was visibly emotional as tributes were shared. Gospel legend Kirk Franklin spoke about Angie's ability to unite R&B and gospel music, bringing people closer to their faith. Anthony Hamilton, a close friend and frequent collaborator of Angie, took the stage and performed Charlene, adjusting the lyrics to pay tribute to her. One of the most powerful moments during the service came when Cake Wyatt sang "Neither One of Us Wants to Be the First to Say Goodbye."
Right now, the only thing that they putting out is stuff that is self-genocide, killing the people.
Her voice shook with emotion, and the crowd was silent, deeply moved by the raw vulnerability she shared through the song. It was as if the pain and loss that everyone felt were channeled into each note. The atmosphere was heavy yet warm, as people reflected on the woman Angie was, both as an artist and a person. While the public service in Atlanta was grand and full of love, the private service in Columbia, South Carolina, was deeply personal. This service was reserved for Angie's closest family and friends, those who knew her beyond the spotlight. It was a time for people to share personal stories and remember Angie for the person she truly was. Those who attended spoke about her kindness, her humor, and her dedication to lifting others up. Perhaps the most surprising moment at this intimate service came from someone who knew Angie in a way few others did. Her ex-husband, Lil Rodney C. For those who might not know, Lil Rodney C wasn't just a name from Angie's past. He was an important part of her life. Someone who witnessed her rise from a young girl with big dreams to a musical icon. As a founding member of the pioneering hip-hop group Funky 4+1, he also had his place in music history. But his connection to Angie went far beyond music. They had a love story filled with passion, creativity, and, eventually, heartbreak. Rodney, who was known for his tough exterior and confident attitude, wasn't the type to easily show vulnerability. But when it came time for him to speak at Angie's funeral, he couldn't hide his emotions. He stood at the podium, his voice cracking, as he reflected on their relationship and the love he had for Angie. Angie was a force, he said. She was stubborn, passionate, and one of the most loving people I've ever known. We didn't always get things right, but I never stopped respecting her.
Out of it, and I was holding her hand and she was wobbling around, and I said, "Baby, you gotta sit down." And then the next thing I know, I flew and I fell down to the ground, and it felt like something not ran over me but brushed over me. Like something just swiped over my body. And I got up and I could hear screaming.
And I never stopped being proud of everything she accomplished. His words were raw and real, and many were shocked by how deeply his emotions ran. Rodney didn't just speak his tribute, he paid it through music. Stepping back from the mic, he played a song that had special meaning for him and Angie. Some believe it was a track they used to listen to in the early days of their relationship, while others think it was a song he wrote just for her. Regardless, when the music began to play, there wasn't a dry eye in the room. The audience could feel the weight of the moment, the love and the loss. Many fans took to social media to react to Rodney's tribute. Some were surprised by how deeply he still cared for Angie, while others speculated that perhaps he had unresolved regrets. One fan commented, "Lil Rodney's tribute was so raw and heartfelt. You could tell he still had so much love for Angie. This was the closure he never got." Another person added, "Hearing him break down like that hit differently. It's crazy how loss makes you realize what you had all along." One commenter said, "Man, this proves that love never really dies." No matter what happened between them, she was always in his heart. Many people were moved by how deeply Rodney cared, even though their relationship had ended. But what Rodney shared next left even more people in tears. When we talk about Angie Stone, we aren't just talking about a talented singer. We're talking about a woman who played a pivotal role in shaping the foundation of R&B and soul music. Her influence didn't just stop with her own music. She impacted the careers of artists who went on to define entire eras. Angie's voice was one of a kind, raw, soulful, and deeply emotional. But it wasn't just her voice that made her special. It was how she connected different generations of music lovers. Angie blended classic soul with hip-hop influences, bringing something fresh yet timeless to the table. From her early days with the Sequence to her rise in the neo-soul movement, Angie's music left an undeniable mark on the industry. She collaborated with some of the biggest names in music, and her influence still resonates today.
Angie and I grew up together. We were children. We went on the choir together. She introduced me to her church choir, and I went there with her. And we would go down to Concora House, eat dinner after church. In the neighborhood, we would come together and we would just do our little thing. Now, y'all know what young people do.
Artists like Jill Scott, Alicia Keys, Erykah Badu, and India Arie have all cited Angie as an inspiration. Angie's ability to tell stories through music about love, struggle, and resilience inspired many artists who followed in her footsteps. Even though Angie's career may have slowed down in recent years, her legacy is still very much alive. A new generation of singers continues to sample her work, and social media platforms like TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter are full of tributes to her music. Fans are rediscovering her songs, sharing their favorite tracks, and remembering how her music impacted their lives. Her songs, like No More Rain, In This Cloud, and Wish I Didn't Miss You, have become anthems of empowerment, heartbreak, and reflection. Many fans have started petitions to organize tribute concerts, while others have planned streaming parties to keep her legacy alive. Rodney's tribute reminded us all that Angie wasn't just a singer. She was someone who touched the hearts of all who knew her. His words about their relationship weren't just about grief, but also about appreciating the impact someone has on your life. His tribute showed that sometimes it takes a loss to fully understand the depth of a person's influence. For those of us still celebrating Angie's life, this is a moment to share your own memories. What's your favorite Angie Stone song or performance? How has her music impacted your life? Let's continue to honor and celebrate the legacy of this true icon. Legends never really die. Their music, their words, and their influence stay with us forever. Though Angie Stone's voice may be silent, her spirit and legacy will never fade. And the story of her impact on music and the world isn't over yet. Stay tuned for more as we continue to celebrate this incredible woman.